Good morning. Hello, and welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church. Whether today is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we are so glad you are with us. My name is Barbara Murray, and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm serving as this morning's worship service associate. We are growing a community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on and care for the earth. A special welcome to those at home who are joining us on Zoom today. And if you're attending for the first time, please fill out the welcome card on our website so we can get to know you. We don't have any announcements this morning. Now, we invite you all to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that we can be fully present to one another. After the service, please grab a cup of coffee or tea and join us for the annual meeting right here in the sanctuary. And then now let us center our hearts and minds with the sound of the singing bowl.
Good morning. It's been a few weeks since I have been here in the pulpit and with you all in worship, and I am absolutely delighted to be back. The best part of going to other churches is coming back to my own. If I haven't met you before, my name is Reverend Tara. I use they, them pronouns. I serve as the minister here at Allen A2U, or A2U2 for short. Welcome, all of you. Welcome, children. Welcome, youth. It is good to be together on this sticky, warm June Sunday. Today, we gather on the first Sunday of Pride Month to celebrate the incredible diversity of human sexuality and gender identity and expression, both here in this community and in the wider world. As a faith tradition with the core theological claim that through the spiritual discipline of love, we can transform the world, we are called to look back into history to those who have paved the way for us to reflect on how we are creating space for those in the generations to come. After our lamplighting ritual this morning, our children and youth will head down the long hallway with Emily and Humphrey for part 2 of Pride history and poster making for upcoming marches. Children who would like to play in the nursery with Kaylee and Lex at any point are welcome to go down the hallway and take a left. As you arrive here, reflect for just a moment on your own relationship to the movement for LGBTQIA plus liberation. Are you bi or pansexual, gay, queer, lesbian, polyamorous, asexual, non-binary, trans, intersex, two-spirit, gender queer, gender fluid, or questioning? Are you a dedicated ally or accomplice? Are you the parent or grandparent, sibling, or friend of someone with a rainbow identity? Our forebears fought to make a place for all of us. There is a place for you in Pride if you choose to join the party, and I recommend you do. Together we work to make a place for those who will come after us. So friends, come and be welcome in this place, in this day of celebration. You are joyfully called to worship.
As we light our sanctuary chalice this morning, those joining on Zoom are invited to light a candle or chalice near you to connect us more deeply with one another. In the quiet moments of doubt, for the times when you are afraid, when the world is too much or too little, if your queer heart, your gender fabulous spirit has been broken yet again, remember there is a love that is holding you and always will. Be the blessing you are called to be. We light our community candle this morning in celebration of our queer kids. Their beauty and bravery and wisdom is a gift to us all. May we grown folk be so wise to follow their lead. Will you take a breath with me? Please join us for our opening hymn, From Age to Age. The lyrics will appear on the screen.
Today, we welcome into membership of Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church people who have chosen to join our community of faith. We are a free faith community. Becoming a member is a choice, a personal and spiritual decision, and membership comes with special rights as well as with responsibilities. Joining this congregation does not mean subscribing to a creed, but it does mean a serious commitment. Joining in our congregational mission to transform lives through the power of love, to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility as we travel on and care for this earth, and to do our part to build a world of compassion, equality, and freedom. Membership means having the right to vote on congregational decisions, and it also means the responsibility of being a steward, of safeguarding the health of the congregation as a whole so it is here for the generations to come. A congregation is a living, moving, breathing, changing thing, which is so cool because it means that anytime new people join us, we have the opportunity to grow together, to share and receive new ideas, new energy, new voices, and quite simply, we become a different church. Each of these people brings unique experience and perspectives to our community, and we are so grateful for that. Today, we have the joy of welcoming 9 new members. As I read your names, please come forward first to Emily and then make a line across the front of the room. Our first new member, who actually I think is not here with us today, is Nina Uwase. Sarah Orbiton and Dave Orbiton, Bethy Fowler and Andrew Fowler, and their kids Emerson and Ellie, Shannon Sonrier and Dan Sonrier, and their kids Nala, Indy, and Arlo. You can stand in front of me too. As well as Teresa Delori and Kevin Perigo and their son Xavier. It is a joy to welcome each of you. This is the part that's kind of weird because I'm talking to you, but you're not facing me, so just vibe with it. It is a joy to welcome each of you into this beloved community. We invite you into the practice of joining, of sharing joys and sorrows, and sharing the joys and responsibilities of membership. Will you covenant to join us in living out the values of Unitarian Universalism and Allen Avenue's mission together in community? If so, please say, I do. Members of A2U2, will you welcome these new members into our congregation? Will you reach out to them in friendship and be open to their unique gifts and ideas? Will you extend a caring hand to each of them as we journey together in this beloved community? If so, please say, we do and we will.
We do and we will.
Let us give the newest members of our congregation the warmest of A2U2 welcomes. You may be seated, and I'll find you for hugs later when we're less sweaty.
In a few moments, some of us will leave the sanctuary to enjoy religious education programming, but first I invite our lamplighter Xavier to join me in the pulpit. Welcome back. A lamplighter is entrusted to transfer the light of the sanctuary chalice to the lamp and then go forth to RE spaces where they will light the chalices there. I invite those going to RE to follow the lamplighter as we carry the flame, expanding our sacred space.
Good morning. My name is Mel. I use she, her pronouns. Today I'm going to read the Queer Beatitudes by Tim Atkins. Blessed are the fabulous, for they remind the world that life is meant to be lived in color. Blessed are the brokenhearted, for they will find chosen family to hold them together. Blessed are the drag queens, the leather daddies, the femmes, the butches, the bears, the twinks, and all beyond in between, for they show us the endless creativity of love. Blessed are those who have been told they are too much, for they will discover they are exactly enough. Blessed are the lovers who kiss on sidewalks, for they make the streets holy ground. Blessed are the ones who glitter, who dance, who vogue, who sing off-key in karaoke bars, for theirs is the kingdom of joy. Blessed are the elders who pave the way, for we follow in the freedom of their work. Blessed are the young ones still trying to figure it out, for the world is wide enough for all their becoming. Blessed are we, the whole queer family, for love is our birthright and joy is our inheritance.
Would you join me now in the spirit of prayer? Beloveds, we were never meant to hide in closets, and we were never meant to be spoken of in whispered corners by a world filled with others afraid of their own reflections. We are here, heirs of a theology that states love is love. The soul is not gendered, that covenants live in hearts, not courtrooms. Laws can be cruel and narrow, but our faith remains wide, widening still more until every child hears their pronouns in liturgies, and every parent of a trans child hears their entire congregation reflect back, "You are not alone," in the face of their fears. We have always been here, from pulpits to picket lines, from the ancestors you called heretics to our kitchen tables where we sat with chosen families, speaking our truths into becoming real. This world may pass bans, overturn laws, rewrite constitutions, threaten us, but our marriages were holy before they were licensed, and our identities were sacred before we had names. Today, again, and every day, bless those coming out and those staying in. We gather now in the wake of their efforts to erase as a sign that we are not so easy to erase, and knowing that we are literally love becoming. We were never meant to hide. We were always meant to blaze. Amen.
Now is the time in our service where we engage in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts support the ministries of this congregation and our work in the broader community. Each week, 1/3 of our offering is given away to a local organization doing work to advance our shared values in the world. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Friends of Portland Adult Education, whose mission is to help adult learners reach their educational and employment goals. Donations can be made now as the basket is passed, through the donate button on our website, or if you are a member, on our breeze, remembering to make note that your gift is for Share the Plate. If you are visiting us for the first time this morning, please know that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, our offering will be collected and gratefully received.
Morning. My name is Vicki Delfino, and I use the pronouns they, them. This is a reading titled "A Remembering for When You Feel the Absence of Queer Elders." Dear child, we know what you're looking for, the gray-haired dykes who should be teaching you how to change your oil and break a heart gently, the trans elders who could tell you which battles are worth the blood and which ones are just theater for straight people's comfort. The gay men who should be at Sunday brunch explaining how to throw shade without catching a charge, how to cruise for connection in a world built on isolation. When you search for us, you're doing archaeology on a grief that predates your birth, standing in rooms that should be 3 generations deep, waiting for wisdom from people who got deleted from the timeline, erased like typos, like they were the mistake. That ache for us, slippery thing, not just loneliness, a bone-deep knowing that something was stolen before you ever got to hold it, a wound that queers time itself. You're grieving backwards and inheriting forwards, living in the slipstream between what was taken and what you're taking back. But listen up, hon. We're not gone. Not in the way empires like to disappear undesirables. We are the shiver of recognition when you cruise that electric moment across a crowded bar, that swipe right certainty at 2 a.m., that knowing glance of inevitable failure of every border built to keep us apart. We are the joy in your magnificent failures. Every time you torch a career that demanded your silence, every relationship that chose truth over tolerance, every bridge you burned because the other side wanted you dead anyway. We are the pulse in your transgression, the filthy words you know as prayer and truths you find in the dark, the language you forge that's too feral, too alive to ever be pinned down. We are the fire in your refusal to be understood on their terms, the wild beating heart of your spectacular inability to just behave. And don't forget, and some of us still here, plainly, stubbornly alive, tired as hell and fierce as tomorrow, doing our best with bodies that carry too much memory. Find us, learn from us. Let us be human, not monuments. We're messy and contradictory and sometimes dead wrong. That's queer too. Permission to screw up and still be worthy. Grace to fail at grace itself.
I stand on the shoulders of giants. We all do. We must remember that life and the fight for freedom, as many wise ones have said, is neither a sprint nor a marathon, but a relay. From past to present and into the future, we pass the baton. We run the best race we can, and then we hand it off. Today we reflect on those who came before, who among the ancestors worked to build a world with room for you in your uniqueness and beauty. On whose shoulders do you stand? If I can, I try to go and hear the main gay men's chorus sing once or twice a year. First of all, they're incredible singers, and it's a great performance, but it's more than that for me. I am of the generation of queer people who did not live through the AIDS epidemic. Yet, what I know is that we lost more gay men to AIDS between 1980 and 1990 in New York City alone than we lost American soldiers in the Vietnam War. Almost twice as many. I don't want to be the generation that forgets that. So I go and I listen to gay men sing. That song they are still singing, the song of life and beauty and resilience. This song is the baton I reach for. And as I and others strategize and organize in our work for trans liberation in these times, where trans life is under relentless attack by our federal and state governments, we keep in mind and are guided by the tactics and the lessons learned from the ACT UP movement. We keep passing the baton. From their shoulders, we can see the dawn over a new horizon. I stand on the shoulders of generations of lesbians who expanded the box around what it means to be a woman, creating space for my generation, for my peers to say no thank you to that box entirely. Not to cancel out the work they had done, but to build on it in our own way. Those familiar with the Bible might recall chapter 12 in Paul's letter to the Hebrews, which reads, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and so easily entangles us, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." It is because we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, because we stand, each of us, on the shoulders of giants, we take up the mantle of queer liberation, creating a world of deeper love, deeper justice, deeper joy for all. May it always be so, and amen.
kindness and a welcome to belong. It's in rest and breathing space. The wisdom caught to carry us along, in between the spaces and the traces of our hearts, so that we can know when we are known. It's in the returning and the yearning to be found, so many places to call home. It's the quiet of your love, when everything is screaming to be heard. It's the hidden and unseen, the embers and the resonances shared, in between the spaces and the traces of our hearts, so how we know then we are known. It's in the returning and the yearning to be free, so many places to call home. Different faces, different places, stories linger on. Changing seasons, changing reasons, still so many places to call home. It's the shelter of your smile, a kindness and a welcome to belong. It's in rest and breathing space, the wisdom caught to carry us along, in between the spaces and the traces of our hearts. Somehow we can know when we are known. It's in the returning and the yearning to be found, so many places to call home.
Hello, on the shoulders of giants indeed. Audre Lorde, 1934 to 1992, named New York's Poet Laureate in 1991, Audre Lorde once described herself as a Black, lesbian, feminist warrior mother who used her words to address sexism, classism, homophobia, and racism in America. Throughout her career as a writer, librarian, and civil rights activist, Lorde authored more than 10 books, including Sister Outsider, and was the subject of 3 biographical films. Her inspirational speech at the National March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights in 1979 was crucial in driving the Pride movement forward. As a tribute to her trailblazing work, here are some of her most notable quotes. Among those of us who share the goals of liberation and a workable future for our children, there can be no hierarchies of oppression. Within each one of us, there is some piece of humanness that knows we are not being served by the machine which orchestrates crisis after crisis and is grinding all our futures into dust. Pain is important. How we evade it, how we succumb to it, how we deal with it, how we transcend it. Pain will always either change or stop. Always. The confidence that it will change is what makes bearing it possible. So pain is fluid. It is only when you conceive of it as something static that it is unbearable. Nothing I accept about myself can be used against me to diminish me. When we define ourselves, when I define myself, the place in which I am like you and the place in which I am not like you, I am not excluding you from the joining, I'm broadening the joining. Those of us who stand outside the circle of this society's definition of acceptable women, those of us who have been forged in the crucibles of difference, those of us who are poor, who are lesbians, who are black, who are older, know that survival is not an academic skill, for the master's tools will not dismantle the master's house. They will never allow us to bring about genuine change. The true focus of revolutionary change is never merely the oppressive situations in which we seek to escape, but that piece of the oppressor which is planted deep within each of us and which knows only the oppressor's tactics, the oppressor's relationships. Your silence will not protect you. You are the one you are looking for. Let's give it up for Audre Lorde.
I'm just going to add a comment that we aren't really talking much about AIDS in this series, and my own recollections only really go through the 70s and early 80s in this piece, but we will be having an open discussion of telling stories in November in celebration of World AIDS Day. The queer community has talked about that, and that will be definitely worth waiting for. Well, my name is John Howard. My pronouns are he and him, and we've been asked to reflect on the ways our queer ancestors and forebears paved the way for us and how we do the same for those who come after us. I feel hugely grateful for 3 different kinds of support. First, from other freedom movements, Black civil rights, the women's movement, and the sexual revolution. Those fighting for freedom in personal and sexual expression. Second, from heroic individuals going public with their resistance, picketing in Washington, getting interviewed in magazines, and getting their photos in newspapers. The third group is made up of personal friends and acquaintances whose hearts and personalities made them shine like beacons of what is possible and who introduced me to ideas and experiences that were transformative for me. Turning 13 in 1965, which is the era I mostly think of, attraction to boys and men was a fact about myself that was crystal clear to me. Through diligent observation and reading, I knew there were others. It was puberty, and there were subtle flirtations, and one night on a Boy Scout camping trip with a little exuberant acting out. My tribe was out there, I was certain. And so I picked up on things in the news. When people picketed the White House in 1965 to protest the federal employment ban on homosexuals, I read about it in Playboy magazine in an interview with Frank Kameny, the organizer. A few years later, I read an interview with Troy Perry, the founder of the first and only gay Christian church. The Playboy Advisor column also gave positive support to readers with questions about sexual orientation. This is why I mentioned the sexual revolution as a movement that mattered. Though very flawed and often misguided, the changes in the air made it possible to celebrate sexuality more openly and without shame. From the civil rights movement, I celebrate the phrase "Black is beautiful" as radical reframing, challenging white standards of beauty, undermining internalized shame by flaunting afros and glossy dark skin. Our movement adopted "gay is good" as a direct borrow. I salute the women's movement in educating us about power dynamics and in challenging the fairness of sexual roles. In response to the objectification of women's bodies, women took charge of them, their sex, and their choices. And there was so much good lesbian energy and music coming out of the women's movement. It drew in peace movement and social conscience activism and gave us a soundtrack to our liberation before disco and with disco. Trailblazing individuals will always inspire us. We need our heroes and entertainers and athletes. Civil rights had Florence Henderson and Jackie Robinson. We had Billie Jean King, Greg Louganis, and Ellen DeGeneres. I remember, and I just rewatched Ellen's two-part coming out episode recently. These episodes were a big deal, and people had parties to watch it. Liberation is a personal job. Everyone is on their unique journey of self-discovery. I invite you to think of the people and relationships in your life that shaped you and helped you become a better, truer person. Oppression is also a personal job, and humans react emotionally and unpredictably. On June 28, 1969, many of those gathered at the Stonewall Bar were dealing with the death by overdose of their idol, Judy Garland, just 5 days earlier. They were in no mood to be harassed by the police. Big mistake, officers. The people exploded with rage, lasting days, which no one expected. That's the personal human element I'm talking about. On the other coast, on the North Beach drag stage in San Francisco, a few years before Stonewall, Jose Sarria had a different approach to harassment. At the end of his act, he started leading the audience to link songs and sing "God Save Us, Nellie Queens." Sarria's particular gift was love, his method, solidarity. His slogan, which is on his tombstone, was "United we stand, divided they catch us one by one." Now, I did not know this man, but he must have had a huge impact on the people around him. The mystery and alchemy of crossing paths with someone like this can't really be explained, but I am very grateful for the many that have passed through my life. The world needs authentic people of all shapes, colors, sizes. Don't hide your light under a bushel. Someone needs you to be just the person you are.
Our closing hymn this morning is written by a really fantastic bisexual songwriter and activist, Amanda Udis Kessler. This is Days of Rage and Days of Hope. It'll be up on the screen and is also the insert in your order of service if you brought your reading glasses. Dale will play through the tune once, and then we'll rise in body or spirit and sing together. after the benediction and extinguishing our chalice, you are invited to remain seated for a time of reflection and integration as Dale offers the postlude. We have always been here, from pulpits to picket lines, from the ancestors you called heretics to our kitchen tables, where we sat with chosen families speaking our truths into becoming real. As we honor our past, let us live now into a more liberated and more loving future. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. Friends, go with pride.